Good morning. It's a beautiful Wednesday outside. A little chilly, but nice. But today is the day the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be profitable in it. Spiritually profitable, of course. Who knows? Maybe you can make some profit otherwise. Anyway, today we're going to talk about what does God require of me? What does He want from me? So I'm going to go to the book of Micah, okay, which very few people ever really read. I suggest you do. But in Micah, starting in chapter 6, verse 7, will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgressions, the fruit of my body for the sins of my soul? He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. That's it. It's it. But it's easier said than done. Because notice what it says, to do justly, to treat people just. Which, by the way, where we get the term justified, it's a legal term. It means not to be condemning, okay? But to treat people properly. You know, I got a couple of friends who are Orthodox, and they always tell me, I don't care what you believe, I care what you do. Do you treat others justly? Okay? To love mercy, not just receiving it. If that's all it was, we'd be in great shape. But do you give mercy? Are you kind to those who screw up? And to what extent? Now, there's a point, quite frankly, honestly, where one after another, after another, after another. At some point, you might just have to schmoot, cut them off. But to want to do mercy is extremely important. Now, to show mercy doesn't always mean that people receive mercy, because they don't want it. To receive mercy might imply that they were in the wrong. And the third thing here, okay, is to walk humbly with your God. This one we're going to discuss. But first, here's my coffee, my famous coffee cup. And by the way, dear friends, I mailed out coffee cups yesterday, and they will be at your residence on Friday. And if you'd like a coffee cup, just simply click on the donate button, and anything, make it $1, make it $10, $5, I don't care. Okay, because the cup is meant to help me understand that there are people taking this program serious. Okay? And besides the cup, you'll also get a copy of the recipe for the J-Lee cookie. That's right. These are great cookies. And I'm afraid if you don't order the cup, you'll never know the joy of the J-Lee, Bob the Builder cookie. Okay? Oh, and I got one more thing. I must get all my announcements up front. Okay? Really would appreciate if you hit the share button and the follow button. There's a couple of people who are doing a lot of sharing. I really appreciate them. And I know you, but I don't think I'll be mentioning your name online. But understand, I see it, and we know that you're partners. Okay? So, my last announcement says, I've started a new program. I'm trying to collect miracles. What do you mean, collect? Yes, and actually I got the first one yesterday, and it was so exciting. Okay? If you would, take 2 minutes and take your cell phone and video yourself telling about a miracle that you've experienced in your life. Okay? It can be a big one, it can be a small one. It can be personal, it can be revelational. But, a miracle that that God touched your life. Put it on your cell phone, on a video, and send it to me. And of course, the number would be 719-248-6324. Please send us some miracle stories. We want to use them in the near future. But don't send it unless you're prepared for me to share it. So, anyway, miracle stories, coffee cup, hit the follow and subscribe button. Yep, I think that's all the commercials. Oh, except for tomorrow night, we continue the book of Revelation, and we're getting into the really good, deep stuff. Okay? So please plan on joining us at 6 o'clock tomorrow here on Facebook or on YouTube, whichever you're watching. Now, what does God require of me? I can say, well, what are the two greatest commandments? And that, of course, is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself. I think those are incorporated in this text in Micah, if not in direct word, at least in direct spirit. Oh. Thank you, Jay Lee. Thank you, Bob the Builder. Wow. Good stuff. You know, we talk about keeping the commandments, and we talk about obeying the Torah and the New Testament. Okay. But all that is because we love the Lord our God with all of our heart, all of our mind, all our soul, and all our strength. And that's, for some people, not too hard until they have to apply that very love of God to his people or to the people he's calling. Think about it for a moment. If Christians, particularly, and I'm going to pick on them a little bit, really love the Lord the God with all their heart, mind, soul, and strength, and the neighbor themselves, why is there anti-Semitism in the church? I don't know. Not all church. I'm not in any way implying all believers, but it exists. Because the second commandment happens to be to love your neighbor as yourself. We don't want those people. It may be not just the Jews, but any particular group of those people, whatever that means. You know, where's the mercy? Where's the mercy that believers are supposed to have? I see most believers slipping into very deep liberalism or very deep legalism. It's very hard to find a balance for some. My dear friend, Reb Kiken, says, Michael, there's a ditch on both sides of the road. And he's right. Too much of this or too much of that, and you're off the road. Yep, you're on your own track. But let me review this one more time with you, what God requires. He has shown you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly. To treat people justly, fairly, honestly, biblically, scripturally. And when those same people do not act so just or so gracious, then we have to, in part 2, is to love mercy, giving mercy. Realize that that's actually following the very example of God himself, following the example of Yeshua. Where God says, I'm holy, be holy. Now God is merciful, so be merciful. This is an amazing story when you stop and think about it. How many of us actually are a little weak when it comes to giving mercy to others? And yes, there's some people in our lives, it's extremely hard. And I know what I'm talking about because I'm a rabbi and I've had a number of those extremely hard people. Nevertheless, God requires mercy. You know, do you deserve mercy? No, none of us do. That's why it's called mercy and grace, or grace and mercy. Cookie time. When we give a kindness where normally it's not deserved, it's mercy. When you go before a judge and you plead for mercy, well, the judge has to choose between a minimal and a maximum. And so somewhere in between is mercy. But the greatest mercy is forgiving the debt or the sin. And that is the just thing to do. It's the right thing to do. There's some people who are, so we call them repeat offenders. And it's harder to give them mercy because they've had it so many times. It also becomes a way of escape. But let me tell you, mercy and justice is supposed to change an individual. It really is. Take you for an example. Take me for an example. When God gave us mercy and justified us through his Son, justified us, justice, but justified us through his Son, it changed our lives. And we, my dear friends, can change the lives of those around us. So I want you to do something for me today. I want you to think about a person in your life that could use a little mercy. Have a little grace. Receive some kindness. And take this program and send it to them. And you want to sign off by saying, love Rabbi Michael, or whatever your name is. Okay? And for you people who are sharing this program regularly, thank you. Thank you. It's not unnoticed. Continue to show the mercy that you've been showing to others by passing this program on, by sharing it. You know, that's how the kingdom is built. One share at a time. One mercy at a time. One justice at a time. See, justice doesn't always have to be bad. You know, you reap what you sow. Oftentimes it's such a negative statement, when in reality, all I have to do is sow the stuff I want to reap. If I quit being harsh and bitter, and believe me, as you get older, okay, when you sow kindness and mercy and justice, that's exactly what you're going to reap. 10 times or 100 times over. So be good to yourself by showing somebody else mercy, and know that you shall reap mercy in return. Maybe not from that person, but from someone else. The kindness that we give others is the testimony of the reality that Yeshua lives within us, within our hearts. So, what does the Lord require of you? Do justly, show mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Now, to walk humbly with your God means to make sure that everyone knows that what you do is because of him. All right? So, with that said and done, take the scripture and make application and find that one person who needs a little mercy and give them some mercy. Okay? Send this program to them, and they'll know exactly what you have done for them and offer to them. All right? So, today is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And may this day be profitable for us, spiritually, and for someone else as we show mercy. But we're at the point where you get your blessing, which I also believe is a mandate that we become a blessing to the world and not a curse. So the mandate, which I give willingly, okay, is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, all your soul, and all your strength. And love your neighbor as yourself. Now may the Lord bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you and lift up his countenance to you. May he give you peace in Yeshua's name. God bless. By his grace, maybe we'll be back tomorrow.